All right, chat, say hello to YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, welcome to a best of 3 traditional draft of Zendikar Rising on MTG Arena. How does a YouTube draft work? A YouTube draft is where I am recording a draft to go to YouTube later, and it's live. It just means that we're going to be a little more focused on the gameplay and a little less focused on the chat. So whereas normally I have an excuse when I lose of, well, I was looking at chat. Now I have to like buckle down and try to justify that. So I think this pack is pretty clear, but somewhat close in that the deck I'm most interested in drafting these days is Black Red Party if I can get into it. And the Spark Mage is just a very heavy lifter there. So that's what I'm going to take. I could sort of respect a Celebrant. Like so far on the stream today, we've gone 5-1 with Clerics, but that was because I opened the Clerics of Lifeblood and got past a Relic, and all of a sudden we were into it. Whereas I don't think you start going into the deck for a core Celebrant and cross your fingers to get past the others. I really don't think there's much to talk about here unless you're just really in love with Kicker and saving money on car insurance or need a rare for your collection. So I'm pretty happy to take the Spark Mage and pass a relatively dumpy pack. Well, I did say I wanted to get into Black Red. And basically here we have Blood Chief's, we have cards that are Blood Chief's Thirst and other cards that are not Blood Chief's Thirst. With some hope of wheeling the Mace, which I've played in Black Red Party, but it's not necessary. It's nice, but this also means we don't have to go in any particular direction. We're still going to stay open. If we see something that's giving us a particular signal, pick 3, 4, 5, we can start thinking there. But generally speaking, in the beginning, I just want to be taking the best cards out of every pack. And this is pretty clearly the best card here. Now we get to basically just double down on red. Although this isn't a party card, it's pretty dang good. It combos with lands. Like, I'm pretty happy with a 3-1 for 3 in most sets. So I think we're pretty happy with the Geopede here. I think you could talk about Subtle Strike, but I'm not ready to talk about Subtle Strike. What other cards are we interested in here? Maybe Subtle Strike, maybe Hellion. This could be some... No, this is not a signal that white's open. The Felidar is just not that great. Okay, now we actually start to see a few bitty bits of signaling, right? Somebody's not in green-red landfall. Here I'm thinking about the champion versus the Geyser Mage. If we're actually Black-Red Party, we'll be much happier to have that Expedition champion. If we're not, and we end up in red-blue, for example, I'd rather have the Geyser Mage. So I don't think... I mean, we could take the Elemental and get into green-red landfall. It would make the Spark Mage a little worse. I think it's reasonable to stay open one more pick and just take the Geyser Mage. Okie dokie. So blue-red is something I'm interested in being now. How about that? I like this Infiltrator. I like this Infiltrator a lot. It's still here. Is this being rewarded? I think so. I think so. We could still be blue-black. It's a YouTube draft after all. We might end up in Rogues. So I've mentioned that I think the Dreadworm is better than people give it credit for, and it is. But I don't see a reason not to take the Ambusher here. There's just... These are barely... This card's This card's playable. The Ox is playable. The Lynx has really disappointed me. It just seems like it should have, I don't know, Landfall gets +0/+2 or something. We've got an MJ emote for that. Poop soup. Alrighty. This has got some things I am interested in. This is a Spland I'll play. I think I want the first Field Research. I really like this. This is the card draw I want in this format. The flexibility matters. Like if you top deck it late drawing 3 cards and you've got time, sure, do it. But I think Divination is just good here. I think we would have been happy with the Disruption or the Electromancer. But we're kind of moving into blue-red wizards just because that's what our cards are telling us to do. There's some possibility we still get into black. If we did, I'd be playing the Duelist as well, and that might could fit in here. If I can get a combat trick out of it and then a rogue for this and this, it's probably still playable in either deck. So I'm going to take the Duelist even though I like the other one better. Blood Price I don't need very much. I don't really need any of these cards very much, so I may as well take a playable in a color I'm not looking to go into. I guess we could take, I could argue that we just take the Duel in case we open a Phylath or something and want to splash it. That's not crazy. Mace came back, which I'm interested adjacent in. I don't know that I'm getting out of blue, though. But the argument is Cloudseer, which is just like playable filler, spare supplies, which I'm not going to need. So I can take the Mace, and if black opens up, play it. If it doesn't, let it go. Anticog I actually like a good bit, so I think we're just going to play that. Hellhound I don't, Mind Carver I don't. So I'll take a negate for the size board. I think we're settling into blue now. And we'll just take this one for signaling purposes. I don't really want to play it. So we've got a Rock Slide Sorcerer versus a Tazim Royal Mage. Interestingly, I think a lot of our cards would be triggering that. Because we'd get it on Cognition, Geyser Mage, Spark Mage. I think we can make some things happen with the Sorcerer. I'm going to need some removal spells, and we don't have any yet. It's a possibility we can wield that Molten Blast. The Spark Mage is getting worse and worse the longer this goes. Because we're kind of getting set into mages. If I get past like a Relic Amulet, I think I'll feel pretty good about this. If we don't, I'm a little nervous. This guy's not 100% in yet. But I don't mind having a random rogue for the Infiltrator. I also don't mind the Infiltrator being the only rogue. Like, you can just kill stuff or get it out of the way, or play a combat trick. 4 mana 2/3 draws a card when it connects would be playable in a lot of formats, and this one's even better than that. All right, so Clerics was open. Good to know. This pack kind of stinky dinky for us, huh? Kind of stinky dinky. There's not even really a shift option. They took a common. I'm a little nervous that it was a Relic Amulet or an Into the Royal. Because I don't think you're taking Nahiri's Binding over the Emeria Captain. I'm just trying to decide if it's too late for us to shift into something else. I think it might be, which means I take the Hellion here. I'll give this one more turn. Okay, so we're getting told we could get into blue-black right now if we wanted to. How many playables do I have for that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 6. We may have to do 2-pack rogues. Yeah, I think we may have to. Because the synergy I have going with the Wizards just isn't good enough. What? The Rogue is real good. The Rogue is real good. This confuses me significantly, but I think I'm supposed to get into rogues here. This is really weird. This is a weird and scary draft. But if this is open, this is what I want to be doing. Okay, if it is, I want the Skulker, right? I mean, I don't want the Skulker, but if we're going to try to build this deck, I want the Skulker. I guess I could take this, but nah. We got past this guy. We get into this. This is what we're doing. The Royal Mage actually has a target now. I can get behind that. This guy's fine in rogues. I actively like it in rogues. This is a YouTube draft, so we should have been going for rogues from the beginning. I like how this guy combos with Zulaport duelists. I still don't really have any of the payoffs for doing rogue things, but I think we can get there. Into the rogue is pretty good. Cleric I don't need. Feed the Swarm I will play all day long. 12 playables, ladies and gentlemen. It feels like it's open enough that I can get away with it, though. So I don't want a Grasp or a Vampire. It really depends on the creature count. 7? I really want them to be rogues, though, so I think we go with the Grasp. Whew, okay. We were going rogue. I mean, what good red did we actually get past? Right? It was just the Geopede. All these other cards we just opened. So I don't feel like we're going to see a lot of good red. We might see some good red cards just because, you know, one person can't take them all out of every pack. But I feel like I needed to make that pivot to get a playable deck. And we could have pivoted into green too. There were two options that were open to us, but this deck is actually open. I want to get like a Relic Golem or something. Is it worth splashing for these cards? It's certainly worth splashing for them. We don't really have the ability to splash for them. If we see a late Lithoform Blight, maybe we can talk about it. I'm not going to want a blood price. This is playable. That's about all it's got going for it. Silencer we could potentially play. I could see this doing -2/-2 some amount of the time. And if it can do that some amount of the time, we're happy about it. This looks like we just want the Falconeer and move along with our life. I think we would play Skitter Snakes, but I don't think I need to take one here. And the Celundi Vision is just not the droid I'm looking for. Whereas this is just going in and we're happy about it. This guy's pretty good in your rogue deck. And yeah, we're not seeing it, as I mentioned, Miso, we're not seeing any... Was it Miso that said we're going to see good red? We're not seeing any good red, right? Because like these cards are just not good, right? Okay, we're seeing some good red. But it's drying up PDQ. I don't know what people... They're drafting red is what they're drafting. They're drafting red-green? They got into red-green landfall late. Because I want this Infiltrator a lot. I think we've got a red-green drafter nearby. No. We've got a red-black drafter nearby. It was black that was cut out of pack 1. We're not going to see any more good black cards. We're going to see good blue ones. Observe. Good blue, good blue, good blue. Decent blue, no black. So these are all the black cards we're going to get. I think I want the Bubble Tea. I think if the Bubble Tea wasn't there, I would want the Bane Veil. Because I'm going to end up with no splans. But it's really hard for me to argue against removal. It does play poorly with the Disciple. I'm going to take a risk here and take the Veil. Because I feel like I should have at least one splan in this deck. Saved by the Bale. If black's getting cut, does it make our red better? No, because we've kind of buckled down on this rogue deck. Like, 2 mana 2/2 Death Touch, pretty good. 2 mana 2/2, not very good these days. So I think this is our deck, and we're happy with it. We'll find a few more playable cards along the way, I'm sure. So Vanquish number 2 would be nice. I wouldn't say no. I feel like Malakir Rebirth might be better for me. It's especially cute with the Disciple, too. And I've got plenty of playables. I was worried we wouldn't, but we do. All right, if I got to play Blood Price, I got to play Blood Price. Funny. I don't think I can jam another Feed the Swarm in here, but I can certainly jam another Skulker in. This looks great so far. And a Skitter Snake, too. Upgrade. Let me just hack this now. It's all done. When you're drafting for YouTube, you draft rogues. Now we know. We ended up with 3 spell lands and got them all in the last pack. It's kind of bizarre. I think the removal suite's fine, and I think I don't hate passing that bubble tea. And, you know, I was joking earlier when we saw a pack with some good red cards, but I do think somebody was in red and somebody was in black. If one of these two players doesn't have a red-black deck, it would surprise me. Because I don't think we could play red there. I don't think that would be reasonable. I think we just trim here and play this deck. And plan on using Malakir Rebirth, Black Bloom Rogue, and the Bane Veil in the deck. And if we need to play them as lands, we play them as lands. Because this looks all right to me. There will be dogs today. Every dog has their day. I can get behind this. All right, let's go. They're showing me a picture of the card I wish we'd gotten. I'm not used to having this deck and not having a turn 2 Swiftfoot Thought Stealer thing. What is the plan with this deck? I think having a plan with the deck is a bit overrated. The plan with this deck is to attack with creatures and use removal spells to kill them. The plan is to reduce the opponent's life total to 0. Like, we don't have a lot of reasons to be doing the mill. But the rogue by itself, the gold rogue, and the skitter snake are kind of sort of reasons to do that. This is the first Throne of Makindi I have seen. Okay. Busting out with some rhymes of the Ancient Mariner. All right, Malakir Rebirth, this is what I need from you. Be a land. Be a land. Doesn't it tap for colorless anyway? I don't understand. This works out all right. by me. Show me what you got. Okay. I don't really feel compelled to deal with that right now. Like, we can vanquish the weak at end of turn if we really care, but I'm suspecting that we don't really care. I need to see what I draw before I decide what to do here. That means we just attack. Because I'll have more rogues. I think we hold one land. There's an argument to vanquish this end of turn. Because they're likely to start casting bigger things where we'd need the death touch to get through. I'm hoping now that they've drawn this, there's some hope that we can get them with a combat trick or get them with a rabid bite and start to accrue some card advantage. Then again, we may just be chillaxing for a little bit. Yeah, I think we chillaxing for a little bit. They're at 5. Okay. Be nice if we can counter something. But I don't feel like I need to get aggressive when they're sitting with 6 cards in hand. That's a lot of cards. Noticed a lot more players taking their time and thinking lately in best of 3 draft, which I don't think is a bad thing. You've got 30 minutes on your clock. Use it however you want. Some people don't know that there is a chess clock in best of 3. I've timed a couple people out. See, that feels like it's probably worth killing. And so does that. Because I've got another removal spell for the next big thing, so we can just trade cards here for a minute. I could use one of our card draw spells would be nice here. Don't super care about that. Yeah, I can take the first 3. These could get more valuable. All right, they're at 7. So if they trade one of these for that, all of a sudden I've got a 4/4 menace. And you'd kind of have to be crazy not to make this trade, right? Because presumably they got bigger stuff in the deck. All right, now we're no longer playing around a Mind Rot because we know what their other color is. We don't have any landfall, so we may as well just play the land. It does, but be aware they're going to play a big thing here in a minute, right? Like, I suspect a 6/5 Trampler is coming up next. We kill that with Blood Chief's Thirst, and there's still 4 cards left to deal with. So we need to hit some card draw here. They could potentially bubble tea this. Okay, well, we found the thing we're going to kill. That's good to know. It wasn't a 6/5, it was a 7/7, but same difference. It's got to die. Okay, there's the 6/5. Return your lands. Did I need to kick it? Probably not. Because it's 2 CMC when it's on the board. I just wanted to. It's fun. I told you these two were a combo. A wombo combo. There we go. So we've got blue-green kicker. There's some life gain in the deck. There's some big things in the deck. There's some scary big things in the deck. I suspect they were in our draft because we passed both of these cards in different directions, which means they have probably a very good version of this deck. If I had another Vanquish the Week, I'd be bringing it in here. Any creatures that I have that are looking to block are actively bad. The good news is I don't really have any creatures that are looking to block, do I? Our creatures are pretty aggressive. The Death Touchers are good. I'd bring in more of those if I had them. I don't. My life total's not under a lot of pressure, and this is going to be a card advantage battle, so I'm kind of interested in the blood price. I don't know what I'd take out for it, though. I've got card advantage with these dudes. I just didn't draw them. I suspect I'll need these if the game goes long. Which is good, because I have one now. Soon we will have 2 colors of mana. And it will be glorious. All right, fine. I was going to wait and see if I could get an option to counter. Now I'm just getting blown out by a combat trick, potentially. It's a little bit of what I was worried about. Okay, this isn't the worst. Because I'm going to get my card advantage. Fine. I mean, not fine, but fine. We still got card advantage, right? They didn't kick it. was good timing on their part. I'm not close enough yet to run this out for no value. They're very carefully playing around my anti-cognition, and I don't care for it. I'd far prefer it if they didn't play around it. This may be the turn where I run him out. Well, nah, they're going to block. They're going to block this turn. At least I think they are. Value achieved. So I basically get a free 2-for-1 if I just swing and use this duelist to clear that. I don't get the card. But I do get the card. It's just the card is a 3-2. Which I'm pretty fine with. Their life total's a mess right now. Roll Mage getting back Vanquish the Weak is nice. Bouncing one of these and swinging Team is pretty nice too. So I think I'm going to go for that. This denies them some card draw here, gives me some. Means they're probably having to trade this off too. Like they can keep one. Yeah, they can't keep either of these. They could have Bane Veil, which would be pretty bad. But I'm still going to get some value off of this dude. That was probably the best Bane Veil I've ever seen. Or the worst, I suppose, depending on your perspective. From my perspective, it was the worst. Take your time. I'm not going anywhere. Another Luigi's Familiar? Getting a little overly familiar here, don't you think? You're going to draw a card. Draw the card first. That's interesting, because I could draw 3 and play this, and it's a 4/4 menace, which is already pretty good. I think I'm down with that. So again, if we're going to draw a card, we may as well draw the card first. I should be able to find a win with that grasp. Because I've got 2 unblockable and 4 power menace. They'll swing with at least one of these. If I hit a land off the grasp, I can even buy it back, potentially. I feel like we are close to a victory. Is this still match 1? This is taking forever. I guess it's just been a tough game. It's not that they're taking longer than I am. It's just that this has been a long match. Tagging with both. Okay. All right, so we can Royal Mage and get back Vanquish the Weak or into the Royal. But I think I like Glacial Grasping the 4/5, seeing what we draw, and then considering our attacks from there. Because that means I'm not dying next turn. Another Infiltrator is cute too. So if I play the first Infiltrator and use it to power this one and swing team, it's a lethal attack. They have to block stuff. Most likely they double block this and take 4. And then I'd have them next turn. Yeah, I think I like that. This is match 2? Okay, thank you, Invictus. I'd forgotten. I don't even remember the first game. Oh, this is match 2 of game 1? I never remember the terminology. How many opponents have I faced? We've only been recording for 40 minutes. It's a gutsy block. Okay, okay. This is our second game. So I could still Royal Mage back the Grasp, and I think win with that. 6, 7, 8. They would need a removal spell and a combat trick to get me that way. I think the second Grasp makes more sense than the unblockable dude. Yeah, I can tell that. I can just never remember which is the correct terminology, game or match, right? That's my challenge. Now, if they've got a combat trick, I'm just dead to the flyer. But there's really nothing I can do about that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can tell me that, Tim, but I'm never going to remember it. Let's do our Stream Raiders battle, and then we can think a little bit about sideboarding. It's like left and right. I have no idea which is left and right. I have to look. It's not that I wasn't taught. I just can't remember. Yeah, it's good information to have. I'm aware that I'm never going to remember it. One little treasure chest over here that everybody's got to go beat up. All right, Falco with the kills, TK with the assists, gold for all of y'all, scrolls for Higgs, Neuro, Kriz, and the Brown Dandy. We got some more orcs to battle. If you're not going to use your Orc Slayer in these battles, why do you even have one? That's literally what the guy's for. So we've seen a lot more of their deck now. It's the same cards we were scared of. We just got out card advantaged. I think I need to find room. Well, I kind of want to find room for the blood price. Their flyers are scary too. It makes my rogue a little bit worse. I still think if I focus on trading cards with them, I can beat them. That combat trick was brutal. Yeah, but if they've been patient enough to hold it from turn 2, I'm never, ever, ever beating that opponent. I don't feel like I have anything to change here. Which is unfortunate. I'd really like to fit in one more card, draw card, but I don't think I can. Is there a world where I'm trading that? I think it's exceptionally unlikely, but it still might be something I want to do. Yeah, this feels a little weird. But we either get a Bane Veil out of their hand, and this is the card I care about getting through. Like, they got a 2-for-1 with that last time. That was not good for us. Here I'm kind of tempted to take it and then try to force through the Infiltrator and start the card advantage engine going. Because they're probably going to play a 3-2 Wizard here. Riptide we can handle. Okay. Feeling a little safer now. I hope you have fun with that, Cal. I think I'm okay grasping this turn, getting one more card, and then playing a blocker for this. Because I still feel like this is mostly going to come down to card advantage. I want to have plenty of Death Touchers here. End of the Royal kind of gets me if I attack with this, but I'm kind of okay with it. Do I care about taking that out? Kind of not. Because Infinite Death Touchers sounds pretty good too. I guess this would be a 4-2 on blocks. Because I think we're swinging with both of these. But just playing this and that seems pretty good to me too. I guess this means if they trade, we still get in 6 damage, which is significant. And they're tapped out, so there's kind of no fear here. Are we dead to Arbor Mage? 11. We're not quite dead to Arbor Mage. Okay, they've had enough. That was a close game. Well, it was an intense game. I don't know if it was close. It felt like it was very back and forth, lots of decision making. I want more games of Magic like that. We had 2 Cleric decks today. One was 2-1 and the other was 3-0. That was the first one. That was the first match with that deck. Because I know we haven't had any losses with it. So buckle in. It's going to be a longer YouTube video today. Glad I made some space on the hard drive. The second Cleric deck, if that's the one you're referring to, was the 3-0. The first one was the 2-1. I didn't get any of the draining Clerics for the first one, and I had an opportunity to take them, but I screwed up. I ended up with 4 of the 1/4s that gain life and none of the 3/2s that drain. So it was kind of awkward. We've got our Gruul Jazz Elemental. Fire this off earlier rather than later against most red decks. Wouldn't mind a blue source if you listen in deck. This guy looks like Bruce Campbell, right? That Planeswalker. Like, we can all agree that's Bruce Campbell. If this is red-green landfall, I'm a little scared of it. Alrighty. I'll take 5. No problem. I'm sure they don't have anything else with their 6 mana. Islander dead? Island one time? That's a good one. I'm in danger. This game's not going to last as long as the other one, huh? I don't think I'm going to draw anything I'd actually cast, so we're going to do this on their turn. Main deck Broken Wings, huh? So I have a plan for the Stomper. It's not an easy plan to implement, but it's the plan we have. You weak. Get out of here. Limestone, thank you. This was the plan. It was a really good plan, and I'm very smart. Zero crying is involved in this plan. Observe. Do I just want to draw this? Because I kind of do. No, I want to have ACOG up. Because we just got him to 7 cards. Okay, you got me. They're at reverse threshold or whatever. First, I plan on soiling myself. Yes, good plan. What are the chances we don't hit an island off of this? I think pretty low. They didn't have something to cast that turn, or they'd have cast it. I don't think we're in counter a cheeseburger mode. I think we're in counter something relevant mode. Ooh, neat. Okay. Now we're in counter a cheeseburger mode. We may even be in duelist for value mode. What's up, Emmett? All right, I think I'm ready to get this done. They can kill both of my creatures with this, but I'm kind of okay with that. Because they'll spend their turn to do it. And I can get these guys going and have ACOG up for their next creature. I like good decks. It doesn't really matter what the color is to me. I'm sorry to hear that, Emmett. I hope that you remain safe. We just pretend no one saw that? No, we knew that was going to happen, and we were okay with that. I still feel like I can do a little better than that. Yeah, here's an example of a little better than that. Value town begins to accrue. Why would we not just want this anti-cognition again? I can't think of any reason I would want anything else. I'm a counter your next creature, yo. Looks like it was a good choice. Now, I wouldn't call it a vacation, man, but I hope that you're safe through this. Take care of yourself. All right, so that was scary for a while, and then it wasn't. We're worried about a Shia. The Broken Wings is going to be pretty good against us, and I've been main decking that, so it makes sense that they have it. Yeah, I don't think we have a size board for that. I'd like to have a size board for that, but we don't have a size board for that. I like to party. Yeah, we probably still take this. It's better for us. I'm concerned they have a Scythe Cat next, and that might be a little more difficult to interact with. Let's see if they got another one. No fear. Okay. They just want to. I believe they're trying to kill me. Okay. No, they just had another royal eruption. Fine, fine, fine. I am concerned about their big dude now. I'm not unnervous. Okay, that's value. So I tell you what we're not going to do is tap out for a little bit. May as well have one card they don't know about. I'm not countering that. I can't anyway, but well, that's unfortunate. I was planning to do things with those. We've got our counterspell online now. We're recording our YouTube draft, so Sabi, I turned the music off for those. Okay, that's worth countering for the scry. They know I have this, and I literally don't have anything else. I think I'd rather have this and to feed the swarm, but it's questionable. Okay. This gives us acceptable blocks. The whiff. I like it. So do I want to try to turn the... I kind of have to try to turn the table here. Okay, that's terrifying, but not the end of the world. Just means we're chomping. I don't think I want to put myself dead to a removal spell. If it would kill him in 2 turns, I would, but it won't, so I can't. I'm going to try this. Because I should be able to find lethal with this, and even through a removal spell, I'll have a surprise blocker. What card don't you like? All right, YouTube, sorry to do this, but these games are taking a long time and I'm an old man. I got to go potty. I'm going to go real quick, and then we'll be back. Chat will keep you entertained. That's what you get for drinking a bunch of coffee right before. How much consideration did you give to passing with blood up the turn you played the Royal Mage and returned ACOG? Absolutely none. Part of that is because this is a sorcery, so passing with it up doesn't really do anything. And the ACOG at that point is a straight up counterspell. So the only thing I'm doing by deciding to get the Blood Chief's Thirst back, like use that and then get it back, is taking a 2-1 off the board for a couple of turns, which I think we might want. And if it's a straight up counter, it's the same as if they know I have a removal spell, if I can have it the next turn, right? Because if I get ACOG, I can we've got 6 mana. If I get the ACOG, I can Blood Chief's Thirst whatever they play next, and then ACOG, and still have enough mana to ACOG the next thing. Whereas if I do it the other way, I don't get any of that. I'm forced into Blood Chief's Thirsting whatever they play, and I don't have a 2/1. So I think there was just no argument for doing it that way. Personally, we may as well do the Stream Raiders battle too. I probably should have done that when I went to the bathroom, but I didn't because I'm bad. But we'll do this and then we'll finish the draft for the YouTubes. That's pretty good, Keith. That's pretty good. Exclamation point SR will put you into Stream Raiders. If you're going to be at home watching streams for a week, you probably want to get into Stream Raiders. It's a fun passive RPG. It kind of scratches my auto battler itch. I don't have to play Underlords anymore now that I have this. Smush the trolls. We hadn't had a loss in a while. Feels good, man. Chris with the kills, Wallet Inspector with the assists, gold for all of y'all, scrolls for Snus Nordic and Techno Shaman. And here's the boss fight. This is what we've been waiting for. I'll collect my loot after we kill. Oh man, this thing is terrifying. All right, bring out your big guns. I'll tank. And let's finish this draft. Be nice to get a 3-0, eh? I'd like that. YouTube's going to think that you can only 3-0 with rogues. I've been talking about drafting Black-Red Party all day. We just hadn't got the well, we've got the pieces for other decks. I think Black-Red Party is the deck you go into if you don't get the pieces for the other decks. Meaning Clerics, Rogues, and Wizards. It kind of is, Keith. I thought initially Stream Raiders was kind of silly. And then Simwife started playing it on King's stream, and I was watching. I'm like, that's kind of fun. And then I tried playing it, and I was like, okay, we're doing this because it was fun. That card's great. It's you just play it over land. Like the fact that they whiffed is bad, but the card's amazing. What would a land have done for them there? Like another land certainly wasn't going to help them. That means you are a man or woman of culture, Limestone. Congratulations. It does well, it doesn't actually make it more powerful. It makes it more handsome. Like, I still don't know that you take it over, like, solid removal spells or whatever, but... If we're up against Clerics, I'm a little nervous. But I think I just want this out there as a 3. Just compare it to a forest. Sure, you'd rather have the creature, but you don't get that option. You can either play a forest or that land that's also a 7 mana. Like, I really don't think comparing it to a creature that you'd rather have makes much sense. Because that's just not the choice. I think this hand would rather just have the divination now. Like, it doesn't help comparing it to a creature, because it's not a creature. It's a land or that. So, sure, I'd rather have a good creature as a top deck than that, but I'd rather have that than a forest when I've got a bazillion mana in play, which is kind of the situation they found themselves in. Sure. Our value we have. But I hear you. I'd like the question is where do you pick it? And I don't think I'm slamming it early. Like, that's clearly not great. So I get to bounce that, scry, and play a 2/2 Death Toucher. That feels pretty good. Neat. They can play it again for all I care. You want to just play it again? Seems fair. I'm going to drink more coffee. Shame that poor bird is so weak. It might just have to get vanquished. Yes, we are still doing the YouTube draft, Johnny. Blue Black YouTube, go. They tried so hard and got so far. They're just dead if I sack this. Well, mostly dead. Because they have to make this trade and we can start Royal Maging. They're only going to have one blocker. This is a really good card. That's a really good card too. Holy carp. Okay. Game changer, man. Game changer. The good news is we can make them trade here. The bad news is if they have a subtle strike, I think we go from being pretty far ahead to just losing. You stop it. You do not have a subtle strike. Why would you have a subtle strike? I can't beat a subtle strike. I needed them not to have a subtle strike. I really needed them not to have a subtle strike. What the heck? Their cards are too good. That would have been way better, Pat. I got a little too ready for this draft. I know what happened. I got ahead and I stopped thinking about the plays. I just started slamming the cards out. And because of that, we're going to lose this game. You've got to pay attention ahead or behind. And it sucks. Because their deck is better than mine and I had a shot to just kill them immediately and I didn't take it. Oh God, that's so brutal. I am so bad. And I feel bad. Because, yeah, if we got back the bounce spell and bounce their flyer, we win. Have you ever heard people say they play better when they're behind? Because you're thinking about that stuff. Yeah, they've just had a cascade of rares. That's a shame because that may have been our only chance to beat the stag. Like, it's really good. It's really, really good. And we're super dead, and I could have won that. All right, there's a lesson in there. So what you got to remember, YouTube, chat knows this, but you guys may not. I don't actually make any misplays or mistakes. Instead, I show you situations where you can learn by going through them myself. So what I was doing there was pretending to zone out of the game because I thought I was so far ahead that I gave my opponent a chance to win. Now, they needed like 3 specific rares in a row to do it, but they had them. So that was really for your benefit. so that you guys could see that, like, when you're ahead, don't stop going, because your opponent could easily catch up. I got nothing against this. No, they're not happy accidents. It was intentional. I wanted YouTube to be able to see what can happen if you get comfortable being ahead and zone out. So now that they've seen that, I don't have to do that anymore. I do that for you guys on the stream all the time. I haven't really done it for YouTube that much. So now they can see it as well. I think it's a valuable lesson. Seems sus. We have done chair drafts. I've never let the chair play. I've let the chair draft. Big difference there. The chair would probably win more. Anti-cognition is going to be pretty good here because their rare creatures are really good. I'm terrified of this deck. Like, legit terrified. I want to draft that deck. All right, on the play. Got 2 lands. We can keep. I kind of have to position myself as the aggro deck because I don't think I beat their long game. All right, well, we got something to do with the feed the swarm. That's good. Because we're doing it. Is that guy a cleric too? It is. So they can even get that back with their other one. I think against this deck, I do just want to flash out the duelist here. They got me. But we can attack with Into the Royal up if we're concerned. A lot of sulky boys. Skulky boys? Skulky girls. Skulkers! We got a combo here. We just got attacks here, which is fine. I think I want to bounce. I want to see end of turn bouncing potential. Because I might be able to get the fledgling with it. They're going to trade that? Sold. All right, cool. This is about as good as this is going to get. This makes me terrified that they're just going to rebuy their graveyard, but there's virtually nothing I can do about that now. Like at 14 life, I don't think I'd be trading this thing. Tim, thank you for the resub, my friend. Y'all spam some cats for Tim. Hello, YouTube, indeed. I'm just trading resources with this deck and all their stuff's better. It's terrifying. Aha, we got him. That's just value. Okay, that was pretty good value too. So we need to hit some card draw, and perhaps our unblockable dudes would be a good start. I like your rebirth doesn't do anything right this second, but that doesn't mean it never will. I'm just, again, very scared of their draws. Because I know they've got some really good cards in there. I got to remember this isn't supernatural stamina because I keep wanting to cast it and block with it. It's like, that's not how that works, man. It doesn't get the +2/+0. It is not exactly what I needed there, but it's okay. I have faith. Faith that I need to draft more rares. Ow! Stop. Deck, not like this. This was so good. Wah. That misplay really hurt me in that first game. Because if everything had played out identically, we would have another game. So I'm not even sure what we're supposed to draw here. It probably starts with card draw. Yeah, this is still not good enough. Right? Because I can bounce something, but it doesn't matter. I need 2 blockers. So like divination into a cheap remove. It doesn't matter. I may very well have been in their draft pool. Now, I didn't pass any of these cards, but we weren't taking any cleric stuff. But that said, sometimes you get a good deck. I think we had a really good deck. I'm still kind of beating myself up about that misplay, but like, it happens. All you can do is sort of wash your hands out of it and let it go. It's unfortunate, but yeah, there was a line we could have won that first game. Oh well, you live and you learn. Chat, say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube viewers, thank you for tuning in and watching the draft video here on the YouTubes. If you would like to see the game live, you can stop by twitch.tv/Semulin, where we draft all day, Monday through Friday. Usually putting in 7 to 8 hours. Would love to see y'all here. Adios.